Much. I'm excited today. I don't know why. Probably because someone is going forward. Praise the Lord. We are already in the season of stewardship. And media, are we going live already? Okay. Praise God. We're in the season of stewardship. And the teaching on stewardship begins today, believing God to see how far. The faithful steward of God, part 1, in bracket put soul winners. The faithful stewards of God, in bracket, soul winners. So you put part 1 as we begin. Brethren, one of the best things that can happen to you is to fully participate and partake on this series in this season. The upgrade of God upon man doesn't happen by chance. It must be a calculated attempt. The upgrade of God upon men, it doesn't happen by chance. It's always a calculated attempt through the efforts of men. Luke chapter 12 and in verse 41 to 43. Luke chapter 12, verses 41 to 43. Are we ready? This morning, Luke chapter 12, 41 to 43. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speakest thou this parable unto us, or even to all? Are you talking to only us, or you are talking to everybody? And the Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward? That's where we are measuring the stewards of God. Who is Lord shall make ruler over his household to give them their portion of meat in due season. Go ahead. Verse 43. Blessed is that servant when his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and in verse 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and in verse 12. And labor, working with our own hands, being reviewed, with bless, be persecuted, we suffer it. Is that 1 Corinthians 4:2? 4:2 rather. 4:2, not 12. 4:2. Moreover, it is required in stewardship or in stewards that a man be found what? It is required. It's a non-negotiable factor of every steward. It is required in steward that a man be found what? Faithful. A faithful steward. I want to give you two definitions of a faithful steward. Number one, a faithful steward is that person who strives to fulfill the desire of his master. If you are a steward in a place, you are learning, you are an apprentice, you are a servant to a particular man or a person, you serve in his house. To be a faithful steward, it is you striving to fulfill the desire of your boss, striving to fulfill the desire of your master. That makes you a faithful steward. And what's the desire of your master? Matthew chapter 18 and in verse 14. Matthew chapter 18 and in verse 14. You are not a steward yet. If you are not desiring and striving to give your master utmost fulfillment, even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. So the desire of our Father in heaven is that no one, even the little one, should not what? Perish. So our master, his desire is that no soul should perish. And we are all stewards of him. So what should be our striving? That no soul perishes. Number two, every faithful steward are people who make gain for their master. First, their desire is to fulfill the desire of their master, not their own desire. Secondly, stewardship requires that you make gain for your master. You must be a gain maker. Bringing gain to your master makes you a steward. Acts chapter 16 verse 16. Act 16, 16. Stewardship requires you making gain for your master. You are not yet a steward if your master can't count on you for his gain. The gain is making. And it came to pass as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with the spirit of divination met us, which brought what? Her master. Much what? Gain. This is a steward to a master. How do they identify her? She brought her master, not small gain, much gain by soothsaying. She's a steward because she brought her master much gain. Matthew chapter 25 and verse 24 to 27. And those who don't, their master threw them to hell. Their master cast them away. Matthew chapter 25 verses 24 to 27. So your master depends on you for the gain of the kingdom, the gain of whatever environment he has brought you. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not struck. Go ahead. 25. And I was afraid, and I went and I hid the talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine. Take what you give me. And go ahead, verse 27, which is the main anchor. 27, verse 27. What do you give me, take on? And now the master replied, thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to exchanger. Another translation say, put it in the bank. And then at my coming, I should have received my own with gain. Can we get a translation that says, that mention bank and also? My expectation is that this thing I give you, you should make gain. If you don't want to trade with it, put it in the bank. So that at my return, I will get it with interest. Look at that. That's Message Bible. The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum. With what? Bankers. Where at least I would have gotten a little what? Interest. The master was so much interested in interest from the servant. And then the next verse, he gathered that guy, collected that one first, gave it to another, gathered him, threw him to hell. He said, there you shall be gashing of teeth. Why? Because he didn't make gain for the kingdom. Brethren, stewardship is about gain for the kingdom. The stewardship of God is about gain for the kingdom. While you are seated, I ask you a question. Are you a steward of God? If the answer is yes, what gain are you making for the kingdom? I have told you before, whether you are interested or not, the matter is settled. It's either you belong to God or you are out of God. It is not that where I don't believe in heaven, I don't believe in hell. That is a personal business. You have the right to believe, you have the right not to believe, but the reality remains that the day you depart here, you will land in one. It's not about whether I hate church, I hate pastor, I hate reverend father, I hate reverend sister. It's your personal business. The truth is, the day you depart here, you will arrive somewhere. And guess what? I've said it over and over. One thing is certain. You may go to bed and didn't wake up. You can't be certain whether you wake up or not. At times, you might decide to travel and will never return. You might eat tonight, and by the following evening, you can't eat again because you are sick. And then before you realize, case has closed. The truth is, to which kingdom will you arrive? Which of the kingdom will you arrive? The kingdom you made gain for, or the kingdom you didn't care for? If you never cared for the kingdom, and you are a steward of that kingdom, how will the master welcome you by your arrival? Your departure is not as important as when you arrive there. Two people arrived. One, the Bible says angels went to carry him. And the other one, they say he died. In the same chapter. The next verse, one died. That was all. The next one, and he died. And angels came to carry him. How you are welcomed into the kingdom when you depart this temporary world, it depends on your stewardship of the kingdom while you are on earth. So while you are seated this morning, or whether you are listening to me from everywhere online, the question is, what gain have you made for the kingdom? If the interest of the master is that the steward should make gain for the kingdom, and I've told you the gain of the kingdom, he said that none should perish. That's his first one. The none should perish. How far have you tried to win souls for the kingdom where you belong? Now, why is soul winning the number one demand of God for a faithful steward? I will try to say 4 or 5 things here. Why is soul winning the number one demand of God for a faithful steward? He didn't demand that you should give him money. No. He didn't demand that you should whatever do. Just win souls for him. That was the number one demand of God for his faithful steward. Why is it so important to God? Number one, it was so important to God and it's so dear to his heart that when he was charging Peter, you know, we're told that when somebody wants to die, the things he say are very important. Are you aware? At the deathbed or during the death season of a man, when a man knows he wants to die, though he may not be sick, it's okay. He will call you and say, come. My children, come, I want to tell you. It's like Jacob calling his children. Isaac, rather. He say, all of you come. All of you sit down. You are my firstborn. Beginning of my strength. Excellency of dignity. But unstable as water thou shalt be. Go this side. You. He began to tell them things. Those were not ordinary pronouncements. He was near the deathbed. He began to tell them things. While Jesus was about leaving the earth, he called Peter, who he knew would become the chief apostle. He said to Peter, Peter, do you love me? Lovest thou me? He wanted to tell him, if you really love me, this is what you do. Peter, lovest thou me? More than this, Peter said, Lord, you know, I love you. He said, feed my lamb. He turned again and said to him again, Peter, Peter, do you still love me, son of Jonas? He said, God, you know I love you. He said, feed my lamb. As he was to go, he called him again, Peter, do you really love me? The guy got provoked. What is that? You know how I love you. He said, feed my sheep. And that was the end of the discussion. The rest were history. But the mind of God, he has delivered to Peter. John chapter 21 from verse 15 to 17. 15 to 19 rather. John 21, 15 to 19. He delivered his mind towards a season where he's about to go. He began to tell Peter what was most important to him. Peter, do you really love me? He said, yes, Lord, I love you. He said, feed them, feed my lamb. Just do something about souls. Do something. Why? Peter was dear to his heart. Because he was dead to his heart, he wanted to tell Peter the things dear to his own heart. When a father is about to go, he will first call a son or daughter dear to his heart. He will say, come, sit down. Let me tell you things you need to know. He will begin to tell you things. That is the first time you'll not be hearing in April 1988. There is a man. He will begin to tell the things he's saying were not history. He's telling you secret that sustained the business he sustained over the years. He will be telling you how he was able to marry your mother and there was no quarrel till that day. He began to tell you secrets. So Jesus was about to depart. He beckoned on Peter, the dearest to his heart. He said, Peter, do you really love me? He said, yes. He said, this is what to do. Can we have the scripture? John 21, 15. You really love me? This is what to do. If you really love me, please, just attend to the lamb. Peter, you love me? And after breakfast, he just made them eat. Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Can we have it from the KJV, King James translation? So when he had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. And said unto him, feed my lamb. The next verse. He said unto him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. It is not about that. And he said unto him, feed my sheep. The third time. Verse 17. Then he said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto the Lord, thou knowest all things. You know everything. Thou knowest that I love thee, Jesus. Jesus said unto him, feed my sheep. You know why it amazes me? Because the Bible says, once have I spoken, twice have you heard. So Peter heard 6 times. Do you understand? If God speaks once, you hear twice. And he spoke 3 times here. Peter heard 6 times. 1 word, so he was grieved. Do you really love me? He said, feed my sheep. Feed my lamb. Now hear this. We're told that the children that doesn't have parents will go to corner to listen to the advice of a child that have parents. True of us? If you didn't meet Jesus towards when he was about to go, find out his conversation with those dear to him when he was about to go. That tell you the things that move his heart. So he said to Peter, Peter, if you really love me, feed my lamb. Now hear this and don't forget. The proof that you love God is not that you danced. The proof that you love him is that you do everything you can to go after the lost souls for Christ. That's the proof. If he can be crying out to Peter, Peter, I want to go. I want to go. My time has expired. But if you truly love me, feed my lamb. Feed my sheep. Peter, feed my sheep. Feed my lamb. If you love me, please feed my lamb. You are not a lover of God if you are not after the souls that are perishing for God. You are not a lover of God. No, you are not. Number 2, why is soul winning the number 1 demand of every faithful steward of God? Number 2, going after soul is like partnership with God. Saying, Lord, you're bleeding in the cross. I want to partner with it. One of the service here, I think Easter service last year, I showed us the real picture of Jesus' crucifixion on the cross. How many of you remember? I showed us the real picture of the crucifixion because you put it in, and I took my time to explain what really happened. That was last year, Easter. In other words, you are saying, Lord, this suffering you went through, I want to partner. That was Isaiah chapter 53 verse 11. Isaiah 53 verse 11. Lord, I want to partner with this your suffering. This bleeding you bleeded on the cross. For souls to be restored to you. I want to, so every time I go after souls, it's a sign of partnership to this bleeding that is suffered. Are we there in Isaiah 53 and in verse 11? I want to partner with this suffering you experience. With this bleeding that was upon you, with this desire that could bring a man, could bring a personality like you. He shall see of the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous servant justify many. He shall bear their iniquity. What? They travail. They travail. He was on the cross. When being whipped, he travailed. I told you, both blood and water were gushing out. This guy travailed. So you are saying to Lord, as I try to win souls, I have the picture of what you went through. Why hung there on the cross? The owner that created water was begging for water. The owner that created water was begging for water to drink. And they gave him vinegar. Lord, when I go after souls, I am not trying to fulfill religious activity. But Lord, I want you to know I partner with this your suffering. If you can't partner with my suffering, why should you partner with my enjoyment? If you can't partner with my suffering, you don't associate with my suffering, how dare you think you will partner with my enjoyment? How dare you? There are people who will never smell heaven. Can I repeat that again and again? There are people who will never smell heaven, not because of anything. They never partner with the suffering of Christ. And the Bible says their gods is their belly. I wouldn't have time to show you that. Their gods has become their belly. Why they never partner with the suffering of Christ. Brethren, if you, even you as a human being, or why you are going through suffering in life, going through, finally, they now said, you bought a Prado Jeep. You bought a house. You didn't even, you just bought a house, bought a Prado Jeep, and people began to come. You will be watchful of those that come. True of us? Even if you are senseless, you will be watchful. You will remember those who, while you were suffering, they were all around you. They were everywhere around you. They keep encouraging you to try more. Don't give up. God is on the throne. Relax. Don't give up. Suddenly, light showed. And then all that showed up. No, sir, I know you. I told you one day, Bishop Oyedepo, look at people who were sitting at the seat of where elders normally sit. He said, you see this elder, from this elder like this, go reach that elder. He said, yes. He said, when I was to start, I called them. That God, this is what God asked me to do. They came. They saw how the thing were going. They left me. I called them. They said, they are not coming. And when they saw the success, they came. That is why they can't pass elder. They cannot leave this stage of elder. That is where they are. If they are angry, they can go. Right on a Sunday service, I listened to Joshua Ngela. Ngela said, he called 3 of his pastors. They stood up. He said, you see the 3 of my pastor? They have returned. He said, when I started, I told them what God told me. And they came. They followed me. After a while, he said the suffering was much. And 3 of them shared my property for wasting their time. They shared Ngela's property, packed it, and left. Now Ngela is everywhere. They have returned. Brethren, God knows those who are partnering with his suffering, with his travail, what he spends his blood on earth. He knows. You know, was it on Sunday? On Wednesday, we're teaching, I said, what thing carry you can meet God? What is your desire that brought you to? I mean, if you were around on Wednesday, somebody sent me a message from one of the states that Wednesday message changed her entire life. The person is still online listening to us. He said that Wednesday message changed her entire life. We think carry you come meet God. There are people, what brought them was the desire to be healed, desire to live better, desire. Some came out of pure love for God. As I said on Wednesday, I said it is okay that trouble bring you to God, but it is wrong that trouble sustain your fellowship with God. Whether in pain, Lord, you are God, and I will do everything I can to please you and to partner with your suffering. Brethren, if you are not partnering with the sufferings of God, probably because you felt your work is too much, you are busy, you are whatever. Sir, I want you to know, that you are not associating with the sufferings of God. And don't be surprised on that day when you can't also associate with his glory. No, you can't. When your work, when your business, when everything about you deprive you of associating with soul winning, which is the major desire of God, then you wake up one day and say you will associate with his glory. Of course, he's a righteous judge. He's not a man. Are we still together? Number 3. Why is soul winning the number 1 demand from God, from all his faithful stewards? Why is it so? Number 3, it is the only event on earth that brings joy in heaven. I am here to see another event that happens on earth that gives heaven joy. Partnership for soul winning makes a person do things on the earth, and there is a rejoice in heaven. Luke chapter 15 and in verse 10. Luke chapter 15 and in verse 10. You can be a joy giver in heaven and lack joy on earth. I repeat. You can't be a joy giver in the earth, that is from the earth giving joy to heaven, and then right in the same earth and you are lacking joy. No, it's impossible. Likewise, I say unto you, there is joy in the presence of angels of God over one sinner that repented. So why on earth I produce joy in heaven, and then you say I shall lack joy? Brethren, can I ask you, if you are lacking joy, check how you produce joy. Did you hear what I just said now? If you are lacking joy in the earth, check out the rate of your production of joy in heaven. It's directly proportional. When you realize that your home on earth is lacking joy, there is nothing joyful about your life. There is nothing. Check how many times you are giving joy to the angels. Is somebody still with me at all? Huh? It is a law. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. You can't be a joy giver and lack joy. No, it doesn't work. Joy giver, lacking joy. It's like you're producing soap. You don't see soap to bathe. How? A person who owns a restaurant that died of hunger. How? No, how? How can you? Verse 7, Galatians 6, 7, I said. Galatians 6, 7. You can't be the owner of a restaurant, working in the same restaurant, and then died of hunger. Be not deceived, God is not more. Whatsoever a man soweth, if he sow joy, that shall he also reap. If he doesn't sow joy, that shall he also reap. It's not about money also. You know, we look at this only as money. Whatsoever a man soweth, they that sow joy reap joy. They that sow not joy reap not joy. How can you be expecting to be a joyful person when you don't give heaven joy? You sit from week to week, month to month, year to year. Nobody drag to God on your account. And then you wake up and say, Lord, make me happy today. And God is asking himself, how? How? I don't get it. How do I make you happy today? Lord, as I go out today, Lord, make me happy. Lord, make me happy. Lord, make me happy. Everything against my happiness. Fire! Later I say one of your legs, you are feeling burning sensation. You are the one burning your leg. Everything not giving me joy. Catch fire. Catch fire. And I look at your leg now. Because you are not a producer of joy. If you produce joy, you don't pray for joy. Joy happens naturally. Are we still together? Number 4. Why is this thing so important to God? As a steward of God, it's important to God because it is the only means of rescue from hellfire. It's the only means of rescue. Remember what we read in Luke chapter 12, that it is not the delight of God. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, rather verse 2, that is not the delight of God that any should perish. His desire is that everyone should come back to him. The only means of rescue is soul winning. Psalm chapter 9 verse 17. Psalm 9, 17. Psalm chapter 9 and in verse 17. Psalm chapter 9 verse 17. If you have not rescued others, why should he rescue you? If you are not rescuing anybody, no, why should you be rescued? Why should you be rescued? When you are rescuing nobody, nobody is being rescued by you. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nation that forget God. Brethren, whether you believe there is hellfire or not, brethren, there is. Did you hear what I just said now? There is. Your believing it does not change it. Matthew chapter 25 and in verse 41. Matthew 25 verse 41. You can argue there is no fire. You can argue there is no heaven. There is no challenge. It is after you have passed on. then you finally realize that actually this thing day. One time, I have prayed. I've gone to prayer. Lord, show me hellfire. I want to see it. I've prayed that prayer countless time, and I can describe my encounter on that journey. Brethren, it is not a place you wish your enemy for any reason. I mean your worst enemy. The worst thing that can be said to anybody is that may you end in hell. I wish you have an idea of it. I urge you to pray that prayer and have such a revelation. The worst thing that can ever happen is that you tell somebody, this thing you did to me, may you end in hell. That's the worst cause. It's not may you suffer on earth. That is living in heaven. Are we there? In Matthew chapter 25 and in verse 41. Matthew 25, 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire. Is it prepared for human being? No. Prepare for devil and his angels. Human being capacity cannot contain hell. The capacity that hell was built for is what should discipline the devil himself. If the Satan troubling the entire earth, hellfire is prepared to discipline him. You, that little heat in the night you could not sleep, may you never end in hell. I thought I prayed for someone. I repeat, may your journey never end in hell. That is the best prayer you could have ever received. It wasn't a place prepared for humanity. No, it was actually orchestrated and fashioned to discipline devil. That is where devil will remain to regret of being the devil. And then you human being find yourself there. May it never happen to you. Number 5. Why is soul winning the number 1 demand from a faithful steward? Because, this matter is so important. It is the only matter that God by himself give us a blank check. You know a blank check? A blank check